residents, the problem is that they feel the sidewalks are going to be too close to their houses. Do I understand that correctly? The other question that I have is, do sidewalks in any way, one, unify the city? Number two, do they in any way increase property values? I do not know that. So would a sidewalk potentially be an improvement for the city? And also, what would it do to the property owner's property value, curb appeal? Does anybody know any of those answers? So certainly we want to do what our citizens would like. And I understand I wouldn't want a sidewalk running close to my house is what I'm understanding these would particularly be. But just a couple of thoughts I had about would better like to know.
One of the things that was pointed out to me by the lady that lived in the corner house was that if the sidewalk was put in and the children were walking there, for them to get on the sidewalk and go to town, across the bridge, they got to walk across, what's that,
North Bridge.
Well,
No, South Bridge Street, West Bridge Street.
West Bridge. They would have to walk across the West Bridge to get in front of the Church of Christ to get on the sidewalk, because there's no sidewalk that goes down and connects. So I think that next sidewalk that down sticks up at the Baptist Church.
And West Bridge Street's 4 lanes across there.
Yes, sir. So they pointed out to me the danger of children trying to cross, anyone trying to cross that highway. We have isn't that the area where for years and years we had a school crossing guard?
No, that's up on Pot Hill.
That's on Poppy over there. And I think Mr. Jarvis may have touched on this earlier. It can be put in, the street can be put in with the curb and everything to take care of the water problems over there, and leave the sidewalk off if the residents do not notice.
And I guess that leads me into my question. If the sidewalks are not going to eventually enable you to walk to town without crossing 4 lanes of traffic, then what purpose do they really serve?
That's why I reminded y'all that, just speak.
Keep in mind, I mean, they are a safety issue inside the 2-block area. I mean, where kids, instead of being out in the middle of the street, they may be playing on the sidewalk. And I'm not, like I say, it's fine to eliminate this one, but that's the only thing. You wouldn't want to do it all over town, I wouldn't think. I mean, you want sidewalks in the city, I would think.
Well, and that's the other side of my coin. One, unifying the city, I think sidewalks are nice.
Right.
But they've also got to serve a purpose, and they've also got to leave you some front yard too.
Well, there's also the option of looking on the other side of the street. The yards are larger on the other side of the street. But there's some trees that are in the way on that side of the street.
And I know we've addressed the safety issue statistically. I can't remember, certainly if anybody else in the room can remember, has that ever been a safety issue on Southwest Main Street where there not to have been any sidewalks all these years?
No, because, like I said, they cut down Broad Street. They cut down Middle France Street. They don't come up in front of us. They cut down Middle France Street and cut across there and get on the sidewalk. That way they won't have to cross over. That's just the way the traffic goes. That's the way it's year in and year out. They cut down the church parking lot and hit the sidewalk and go to town and come back. I mean, they do that every day. They don't come up and cross over.
It seems to me that you would almost be creating a safety concern having to cross 4 lanes of traffic to get to the sidewalk to walk downtown.
You would.
And that's just my initial thought, but I just wonder what purpose does it serve if you can't get on the sidewalk and walk all the way downtown on that one particular sidewalk? And I don't know where we go from here, but
I have a question. Mr. Washington, do you have any elderly people on those 2 streets?
Quite a few, yes, ma'am.
Do you have anybody that, I know there are a lot of streets now that are trying to have at least a sidewalk on one side or the other for the elderly and wheelchairs, and because wheelchairs don't need to be in the street, going down the street. So if y'all don't need the money, I got streets in my district that need curb repair, sidewalk repair, and I don't think I'll have many people in my district to say they don't want a sidewalk. And I'm not being funny. I want the money, y'all. I'll take second dibs on the money.
I think we got a man back there on Second Road that fight you over that money on the sidewalks.
Thank you, Councilman.
But think about your elderly in the area, because they need sidewalks to
Well,
get there.
evidently, as Mr. Sims said, the elderly are on here.
They are on there.
And, so he did this, and we're gonna grant what they want in that district.
What is elderly?
Yeah, let's be careful.
Mayor, could I say something?
Yes, sir.
To the mayor and the council, Mr. Jarvis, if we're gonna say this cost us $13,000 for Councilman Hope gets my money, everything that we can save, is there anything else y'all don't want in that area? I have to put the money.
Now, there are other roads in the left that need to be worked on too.
Okay,
And money can be.
we're gonna get there.
and
I
money
need to
can
get
be-
with Mr. Jarvis on this side, have somewhere else I need to put this money that I guarantee we won't have any problem. So,
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, item 5, permission for police department to apply for grant for a bulletproof vest. And I think that Joel asked for half of this, right, it's a match.
Yes, sir. 25 of our vests have or will be expired. Vests have an expiration date on them. We found a grant that we paid for 50% of what we match. Also, we have what kind of fund is that?
This law enforcement grant account that we have that from past years when we had some match money in other projects has a balance in it of $9,704, and it's not earmarked for anything, so we've already got the money to be able to pay the match. We just need the approval.
And that match, you think would be,
The match is
$6,498, and
$6,498.
we've got 97, so the money's there, it's just a matter of we need it approved in the match grant.
any questions concerning that? All right.
Well, I've got a quick question to make. It's not on the agenda, and we don't need to discuss it in the meeting, but if you need a work session, we can. Where are we on the Arrowhead Plastics lease?
The last, when we left before it was left, the public works person was with the city attorney and moved forward in trying to expedite this. I was sitting in my office and had a phone call, and the person that had talked with me and was the FAA, Kevin Morgan. And what he came back and what he suggested at that point in time was to possibility of separating this property from the actual airport property, where you never had to do this issue again. And the steps that you would take to do that, and the property would need to be appraised in order to do that, or offered for sale to the company out there, because essentially they're going to own it anyhow. What do we say, 10 years?
8 years.
8 years?
This last week.
Yeah, they would own it anyhow. And your rent has to, if you're going to rent it to them, it has to be based upon the property value.
Fair market value.
Fair market value. That's what we were discussing about going up on the rent. You remember when all that was happening? But it has to be based upon fair market value. So they recommended a gentleman, Kirby Smith, that had done work for FAA in appraising, called Mr. Smith to see what he would charge to appraise the property, and I think that was about $2,000 to appraise the property. Now, the attorney brought up the issue of the environmental problems that the property could have. uh,